Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. For that matter, Ronna, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering.
America.
Welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. You'd be forgiven if you didn't know that there was a Republican debate on last night. The field has been whittled down to 5 candidates on the stage. Let's pour one out for Mike Pence, who has suspended his campaign.
That's a shame.
And also to Doug Burgum, who didn't make the stage. And of course, Asa Hutchinson, he didn't make the stage last time. He didn't make it this time. Why he's still around, I don't know. But there were 5 on stage, not named Donald Trump, who had his own rally again. We'll get to that at the end of this video. Now, normally I give you my debate analysis that I do for every single debate. Your candidate was the winner. Whoever you think was really bad, they got owned by everybody. But in this particular case, I got to make an exception because Vivek Ramaswamy came to collect. We're going to get to all of the highlights of Vivek Ramaswamy's debate performance, and there were quite a few. But before we get to that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other shows. And if you like what you see and hear in this or any of my other videos, smash that thumbs up button, like, comment, share the show with your friends, because it all feeds the YouTube algorithm.
Feed me Seymour.
So throughout these debates, we've sort of seen the evolution of Vivek Ramaswamy as a retail politician in these debates. It started out that he was the overachieving newcomer, kind of a political neophyte, a little bit naive in his presentation and delivery at that debate. He took a lot of shots. And then in the second debate, we kind of saw that he changed it up and tried to be the kumbaya candidate and didn't want to take shots at anyone, but he still took shots. So I think for this third debate, Vivek Ramaswamy had to really shine. He had to really step it up and solidify his position that Nikki Haley had been taking from him in the last 2 debates. Let's face it, Nikki Haley was eating Vivek's lunch in those first 2 debates, taking advantage of his inexperience and his good nature to some extent. Well, this debate was definitely not the first 2 debates, because Vivek Ramaswamy had learned from his mistakes, and let me show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Swamy, let me turn to you. Please make your case. Why should you be the nominee and not the former president?
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ronna, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. You think the Democrats, and we've got Kristen Welker here.
Coming in hot, Vivek Ramaswamy's taking swings at everybody, starting with the RNC. You may remember earlier in the year, there was a little bit of a dust-up within the Republican Party about whether or not Ronna McDaniel should remain the head of the RNC. Many delegates went in looking to support Harmeet Dillon and thinking that a change of leadership was the way to go. Well, Ronna McDaniel survived somehow, probably with the support of Donald Trump and his endorsement. So in 2023, with McDaniel still leading the RNC, they did the same thing that they've done in past years and expected a different result. That's the definition of insanity, folks. So Vivek is right to call out the failures of the RNC. I like that, and the base will like that. The rank and file voter out there that's paying attention right now is going to love to hear things like that. And then he turned his ire to the moderators and the media. Of course, every conservative loves it when a personality takes on the mainstream media. And you heard the response from the crowd there. Vivek found out that the best defense in any debate is to remain on offense at all times. If you're the one out there being aggressive, it's going to pay off dividends in the end. And you're taking on very unlikable organizations, the RNC and the media to start out with. It's a really good start.
Do you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
Mr. Ramaswamy.
Whoa!
This is how we...
Whoa, look at that fake smile on Welker's face. She was just put on the spot and called out by Ramaswamy. The crowd's absolutely eating it up. He's got them on his side to start out with. This is how you do things. The other thing that Vivek Ramaswamy did really well in this debate is set himself apart from the pack on issues. Like, for example, in this round of questioning concerning Ukraine funding.
Mr. Ramaswamy, are you persuaded by President Zelensky's urgent new plea? Where do you stand on more funding?
I'm absolutely unpersuaded. And I'm actually enjoying watching the Ukraine hawks quietly, delicately tiptoe back from their position as this thing has unwound into a disaster. The first half of this race, I was the only person standing for it. Now they're actually quietly coming around to being more cautious, as they should. Level with the American people here. Ukraine is not a paragon of democracy. This is a country that has banned 11 opposition parties. It has consolidated all media into one state TV media arm. That's not democratic. It has threatened not to hold elections this year unless the U.S. forks over more money. That is not democratic. It has celebrated a Nazi in its ranks, the comedian in cargo pants, a man called Zelensky, doing it in their own ranks. That is not democratic. More facts for you that you won't hear from the mainstream in either party or the mainstream media. The regions of Ukraine that are occupied by Russia right now in the Donbass, Luhansk, Donetsk. These are Russian-speaking regions that have not even been part of Ukraine since 2014, that other people probably couldn't name those provinces for you. Those are the hard facts. And so to frame this as some kind of battle between good versus evil, don't buy it.
I mean, find the lie in what he says. I'm sure there are fact checkers out there that can point it out better than I could, but I'm here to talk about presentation. That sounded presidential. He had facts at his fingertips. He was able to name regions. He had his talking points that he wanted to bring out. His theme was about how undemocratic Ukraine is, banning religion, banning political party opposition. These are things that he had ready to go for this question. He prepped really well. He sounded presidential, and he is setting himself apart from what he used to call the Ukraine hawks, the ones who are backing off back to his position, showing the crowd that, hey, I was right all along. Very, very strong in his presentation here.
And I'd like the likes of the sharpest of the war hawks on Ukraine, Nikki Haley, to have some accountability and answer. Do you want to use U.S. taxpayer money to fund the banning of Christians? That is actually what's happening. They're using the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. They have banned them. The Ukrainian parliament just did this last week, supported by our dollars. And I think you owe it to the American people, Nikki, to at least this one time at least condemn.
Thank you. That's time.
At least to condemn their banning of Christians.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
or else
thank
we're talking
you.
out of both sides
Mr. Ramaswamy, thank you. We asked the question.
We will ask the questions.
What the hell was...
Yes, Mr. Ramaswamy, we ask the questions around here. You do not. That sounded like a cliche, didn't it? And if you notice, he went on the offense against Nikki Haley, who, let's face it, the last two debates kind of got over on Vivek Ramaswamy. This wouldn't be the last time that Ramaswamy would target Haley, who's really had her way with him in prior debates. Again, because he's a political neophyte, he wasn't accustomed to debating. And now it seems like he's ready for the big leagues. He's ready to take her on. And after the break here, we're going to see exactly just that on two different fronts. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. The topics now shift from Ukraine to Israel.
Mr. Ramaswamy, any daylight between you and the candidates we just heard on this issue, on what you would tell the Prime Minister?
Not in terms of what I would tell the Prime Minister, no. In fact, I would go one step further. The founding vision of Israel was based on the idea that they don't want to depend on anybody else's sympathy or direction in defending themselves. So what I would tell Bibi is that Israel has the right and the responsibility to defend itself. I would tell him to smoke those terrorists on his southern border, and then I'll tell him as President of the United States, I'll be smoking the terrorists on our southern border.
So there's a lot of good buzzwords here that would appeal to conservatives. Rights and responsibilities put together. Also, discussing how America would be a supporter of Israel without fighting the battle for Israel and taking care of issues here in America first. Hey, look at that. America first. That's Ramaswamy's campaign in a nutshell, right?
Help! I'm in a nutshell.
He's supposed to be like Donald Trump, but different than Donald Trump. So he's already set himself up as the America First candidate when it comes to Israel, not abandoning support for Israel, but solidifying America, which makes for a stronger Israel.
That's his responsibility. This is our responsibility. That's how we move forward. But I want to be careful to avoid making the mistakes from the neocon establishment of the past. Corrupt politicians in both parties spent trillions, killed millions, made billions for themselves in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, fighting wars that sent thousands of our sons and daughters, people my age, to die in wars that did not advance anyone's interests, adding $7 trillion to our national debt. And Joe Biden sold off our foreign policy. Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, got a $5 million bribe from Ukraine. That's why we're sending $200 billion back to that same country. The fact of the matter is the Republican Party is not that much better. You have the likes of Nikki Haley, who stepped down from her time at the UN. Bankrupt or in debt was her family. Then she becomes a military contractor. She joins the board of Boeing and otherwise, and is now a multimillionaire. So I think that that's wrong when Republicans do it or Democrats do it. That's the choice we face. Do you want a leader from a different generation who's going to put this country first, or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels?
All right, Mr.
In which case we've got two of them on stage
Mr.
tonight.
Ramaswamy, thank you.
Whoa, so there's the line of the night. Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels, referring to both Nikki Haley and, I don't know if you heard it there, also Ron DeSantis, a reference to, I guess, his cowboy boots that make him look taller or something like that. Again, going on the offensive, but also putting out his message and setting himself apart from the rest. It's good to see, and this line was the talk of social media. Now, Nikki Haley tried to do a comeback line talking about the size of the heels. They're not 3-inch, they're 5-inch. And also put out this tweet, Vivek, I wear heels. They're not for a fashion statement. They're for ammunition.
What does that even mean?
So, comeback failed for Nikki Haley. Vivek finally gets one over on her, which might be the first time that he's actually done that with Nikki Haley. He's bucking the trend here. He's fighting back. Offense is a good defense. All good marks so far for Vivek Ramaswamy, especially on a weak point, which was foreign policy. Another weak point for Ramaswamy was TikTok. In a prior debate, they talked about his use of TikTok, and Nikki Haley saw that as an attack vector and went after him on it. And by the way, yes, another debate, another ad for TikTok. Come on, networks, get your stuff together. You know this is going to be discussed. You know it's connected to the CCP, yet you keep on taking their money while these politicians talk negatively about them. Really? Anyway, back to the debate. Ramaswamy tried to rehabilitate himself with his response about TikTok. And again, the theme of Ramaswamy's presentation. Offense is your defense. He does it here again. And Nikki Haley is back in the crossfire.
We've talked about this. You campaign on TikTok. How do you get TikTok banned if you use it?
Well, I want to laugh at why Nikki Haley didn't answer your question, which is about looking at families in the eye. In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Nikki Haley went Will Smith on Vivek.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
Oh, man. Listen, it might be a low blow to bring in family members into a debate, but this is just another sign of a feisty Ramaswamy. Did he go too far? I'll leave that for you to judge. I don't know if it's so palatable to me, but he's shown now a willingness to get down and dirty with these other career politicians out there. I think he saw this as a necessity to kind of change his image here. Again, if you think it's over the line, let me know in the comments and let's discuss it.
Daughter, the next generation of Americans are using it. And that's actually the point. You have her supporters propping her up. That's fine. Here's the truth.
You're just
the easy
scum.
answer.
Rabbit is, am I starting to get to you?
You're scum. Clearly, Vivek has touched a nerve with Nikki Haley, and she's trying to come up as offended and triggered and all these things. She's a mother. How dare you talk about her children? Clearly, there's bad blood here between the two. Again, leave a comment. Let me know if you think it went too far. But Vivek left Haley kind of speechless here and taken aback by his more aggressive tactics.
Is actually to say that we're just going to ban one app. We got to go further. We have to ban any U.S. company actually transferring U.S. data to the Chinese. Here's a story most people don't know. Airbnb hands over U.S. user data to the CCP. Now, that's a U.S.-owned company. So this is the problem when you have Republicans that temporarily go the way the winds blow, and now it's popular to talk tough on China. When she was UN ambassador, called them literally, her words, not mine, our great friend. You can't be fair weather fans of the right policy. Get to the root cause. Even U.S. companies in Silicon Valley are regularly doing it. Cut the virtue signaling. The fact of the matter is Democrats are on TikTok today. The only person, one of the few people who is putting up content the way the actual algorithms work, speaking for pro-Israel views or others, is
Ambassador
me. And I predict
Haley,
more Republicans will join it. But stop U.S. companies from turning over data to Chinese companies. That's the real
moderators
answer,
like
not the virtue
Kristen
signal.
don't get to.
Ramaswamy did a great job of turning the question around. He got his bomb dropped. He endured the boos from Haley supporters in the crowd, and then he started talking about real issues with China, and again, tying Haley to China with that video that's been circulating, calling China our great friend, which clearly they're not. So Ramaswamy did another great job here of pivoting off of any negative reaction to that bomb he dropped. Haley was left speechless and could only insult Ramaswamy, and then he pivoted to talk about a substantive issue. He's on fire right now, and he's really taking it to someone who was taking it to him and took some share of the voters in between the last couple of debates. All that was left was for Vivek Ramaswamy to finish up strong.
We've talked a lot about foreign wars tonight, but we're in the middle of a war right here at home. It's a war not between black and white or Democrat and Republican. It's between those of us who believe in our founding ideals and love this country and a fringe minority who hates the United States of America. And I think it's going to take a commander-in-chief to lead us to victory in that war, who first of all knows that we're in a war. Second of all, can't be captured by the special interests along the way. But third is from the next generation, somebody with fresh legs to lead us to victory. I'll shut down the deep state. I'll declare economic independence from China. I'll keep us out of World War III. And then revive national pride in this country. I also want to close with one message to the Democrat Party. End this farce that Joe Biden is going to be your nominee. We know he's not even the president of the United States. He's a puppet for the managerial class. So have the guts to step up and be honest about who you're actually going to put up so we can have an honest debate. Biden should step aside, end his candidacy now so we can see whether it's Newsom or Michelle Obama or whoever else.
All right,
just
Mr.
tell us the
Ramaswamy,
truth so we can have an
your
honest
time is
debate.
up.
He definitely ended strong there. This has always been Ramaswamy's strength. In every debate, in every presentation he makes to any crowd or forum, he is very aspirational when talking about America. He's very optimistic about it. He sets himself apart as being part of the next generation of leadership to come down the pike. He's anti-establishment now. You saw what he did with going after McDaniel. And by the way, there's video after the debate of a tense moment between Ramaswamy and Ronna McDaniel.
It looks like he's speaking now to Ronna McDaniel. Can't make her out exactly, but it looks like they may be having the exchange.
So he's not pandering to a crowd. I think he actually feels that way. And all in all, he had the best debate performance in my opinion. But let's get real here. Vivek Ramaswamy had a good night without Donald Trump on the stage. But the presence of Donald Trump was definitely felt at the debate. That's right, a Donald Trump chant breaking out during the debate. So no matter how well Vivek Ramaswamy or any of the other candidates may have done, the big dog is still the big dog. The front runner is still the front runner. Donald Trump was winning even while he wasn't there. And the producers of the debate from NBC did not like that at all.
That was awesome, you guys, but that's the last time we're going to do that, right? Because we really want to hear from these candidates, and they worked really hard for us tonight, okay? So we're so...
They had to quiet the crowd and tell them you can't chant for Trump because he's not here, apparently. And because these candidates work so hard and they deserve to be heard. If you wanted more proof that there is a steep climb for all these candidates to get on Trump's level, there it is right there. But let's give Vivek credit. He has shown the most growth as a candidate from everybody else in the field. He's made mistakes, that's clear. But he's learned from his mistakes, at least on the debate stage. He's improved in his presentation. And I think he's going to come out stronger as a result of his performance last night. But hey, that's just my opinion. I want to know what you guys think. Give me your overall impression of Vivek Ramaswamy's performance as seen in these clips. Let me know what you think about his attacks on Nikki Haley. Did he get the job done? Has he improved? Let me know in the comments everything you want to say about this. And please, like the video, share the video with your friends, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Let's have a conversation about these candidates and any other shenanigans and buffoonery that you want to talk about that's going on every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.